So for those who haven't been tuning in so far, can you just talk a bit about your character and maybe how you came on board?
Totally. I play Claudia Donovan. She's a young, hip, brilliant techno whiz child prodigy. How else can I pad my ego? Who hacks her way into the warehouse to kidnap Artie, which sounds very menacing, but she actually has very heartfelt intent involved. She's trying to save her brother, who was lost to a freak teleportation accident 12 years ago that involved an artifact. So Artie is sort of the man who knows, Claudia presumes, how to bring Joshua back. And so it's a very exciting episode, a lot of effects going on, a lot of sort of tension that, are we going to survive? Is something going to go wrong? But, you know, Claudia, I think, was probably, she's intimidating at first. I mean, we see what she did to the power grid in the warehouse. But she really, she's a real person. Like, she misses her brother, and inevitably becomes part of the warehouse family, much like I became part of the cast and crew family. So.
Because Jack was saying, he's like, this is really a family show, just with a kind of a sci-fi backdrop. So like, can you just talk about that, like this kind of the theories of the show and just kind of how it blends sci-fi and family?
Well, yeah, I mean, what grabbed me about Warehouse 13 was that, even though aliens are awesome and it's cool to, like, trip around space, shooting at them and tripping the light fantastic, what grabbed me about it, somebody who's new to the sci-fi world, was that we're tucked away in South Dakota somewhere, running around your backyard every day with items that could be in your attic. Like, imagine greater sci-fi. So... So it's the blend of real world elements with this, fantasy land and humor that, to keep us all not taking ourselves too seriously, that that grabbed me and that I think will grab, the rest of the world and not just straight sci-fi followers, I hope.
Well, the network really got behind this with the rebranding, and they premiered your show like on the same day they rebranded it. So like, what's it like to have this kind of like network support for a series like this?
It's phenomenal to have the network support. I mean, and sci-fi is certainly, apparently cable networks are a lot more patient than, the big five, who will pull you after 2 episodes. But luckily the numbers have been phenomenal so far, like completely unexpected and really deeply appreciated. Everyone's been just fantastic. I mean, I remember when I joined the cast, I went up to, the top of the building and had a meeting with Jack, the showrunner, and Mark Stern and Eric Story and a lot of people from the top, and they were just nothing but welcoming, and I've been having a blast ever since. Never look back.
So I heard you guys just wrapped a few weeks ago. So like, are there any like kind of notable guest stars you can maybe tell us about for this first season?
Yeah, well, Trisha Helfer from Battlestar's already been on. We have Joe Flanagan from Stargate Atlantis. Who else? Joe Morton, Eric Estera from Eureka. Who else do we have? Oh, the Hogans. We have Michael and Susan Hogan from Battlestar. So there's never a dull moment. We have some awesome people come through, and they inevitably participate in a pretty fantastic storyline. So.
It's like, this seems to be like some great fodder for conspiracy theorists and stuff like that. So like, what do you think this might kind of add fuel to that fire for this show?
I certainly think so. Saul insists that he was taken to the real Warehouse 13 and met the real Artie. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to believe that a place like this can exist. If so, where do I sign up? I certainly couldn't apply with the Claudia skills on my resume, but I could be a decent janitor. I mean, I'd do some mean windows. That's all I'm saying.
You get some access somewhere. You might find a key somewhere else. Who knows? So do you think we should be investigating South Dakota a little bit more?
I mean, I have a feeling that if you drove around South Dakota looking for the warehouse, you might drive through the rabbit hole into Wonderland, or like find a rip in the space-time continuum that would just take you out of there. So maybe don't try to find us too hard, but we're out there and we're coming for you.
Excellent. So just for the fans who've tuned in so far, what would you like to say to those guys, and what would you like to say to someone who might not have caught the series to get them to tune in on Sci-Fi?
To those who have watched, thank you so much for the numbers. Oh my God, the closer we get to my episode airing, the better. And to those who haven't watched, you're missing out. There's, if you're sort of hesitant because of the sci-fi moniker, definitely sort of rejudge what you associate with the Sci-Fi Channel, because this new brand, Imagine Greater, totally embodies their show set. I mean, we're not your grandma's sci-fi show.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Allison.
Thank you.